Kuzuzangpo, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank TCB for having me as one of the panelists. It's such an honor to join wonderful speakers here. I think I'm not an expert to be talking about domestic tourism, but I will share about being a domestic tourist myself. So it's almost been 3 years since I've been extensively traveling within Bhutan, and so far it has been a wonderful journey, wonderful journey. When I first started traveling back in 2018, I did not see many people traveling within Bhutan. Their interest was either to fly to Bangkok or Goa or Singapore or Bali. They never had Bhutan in their bucket list. Then I always wondered, why would Bhutanese not take interest in traveling within Bhutan? So that question actually hurt me more, because it only seemed like Bhutanese was not really interested in getting to know our country better, delving into local community, trekking at the mountains. They were not interested. And even when I was doing masters in tourism management, the literature, it was so hard for me to find any articles or travel articles written by a Bhutanese author or Bhutanese writer. Whatever articles or whatever books it's out there about Bhutan, it's mostly written by expats and foreigners. So I felt like being a Bhutanese, I think it would add only extra value if we write about our own country. So that was one reason why I ventured into traveling extensively within Bhutan. And the more I have traveled, the less I feel I know about our country, because there's so much to see. And as a domestic tourist, I wonder, people always say, we are so tired of visiting Lhaka, we are so tired of visiting zones and trekking. There's so many, there's nothing out there. That's what local tourists say. And I tell them there are resources, there are enough resources. It's just that somehow we are failing to capitalize on those authentic, unique resources. And that's why people really don't know, like, this kind of culture or attractive landscape exists in Bhutan. So when I go back to 2018 and when I compare the situation right now, post-pandemic, I think local tourism has really boosted compared to 3 years ago. People have actually started to travel. I see so many people trekking up to the mountains. They're going to the community, visiting villages. They're trying to delve into local culture. So in that way, I think local tourism is really taking the shape now, finally. And somehow I thank COVID. I take COVID as a blessing when it comes to the change in dynamics of traveling. Had it not been because of COVID-19, I think domestic tourism would have taken a little longer to actually come into existence and come on run in Bhutan. That's what I personally feel. So I really take COVID as blessing, and it's so nice to see people actually traveling within Bhutan. So having said, like, traveling is so beautiful and glamorous in Bhutan, there are also challenges that we travelers face. Of course, TCB is promoting various destinations to Drukora. I'm so happy that you all have platform where people can actually go there and search the tours. Besides that, there are so many challenges that we traveler faces, especially in context of policies and regulations sometimes. One time I went to Merak, and I think maybe I was not travel literate enough to know the rules, policies. I was stopped by the local leader, and he asked me, you need permit to travel within our community. So then I questioned him, are Bhutanese not allowed to travel in our own country? So he said, oh, we have these rules and regulations. You should have this pass. You should have this permit. And I was not aware of it. Then I asked myself, why am I not aware of it? Then later I realized I did not get enough information. So I thought maybe there is some lack of communication or, lack of information literacy about travels. So concerned stakeholders really should also work on sort of advocating the travel rules and regulations to the travelers. And as a trekker, now there's so many restrictions. I have not experienced this many restrictions prior to COVID-19. Perhaps it must be because of the COVID-19 protocol. Well, now when we travel to some mountains, we need permit. And at least now, becoming an avid traveler and a trekker, at least I am aware that, oh, if you go to Jumulhari, we need the pass, trekking pass. If you go to Kankarpinjam, we need the trekking pass. But then, unlike people who are first time trekking to the mountain, they really don't know what are the requirements, the formalities that they have to fill in. So in that case, I think stakeholders should also educate the travelers on the requirements that they will need while, be it hiking, be it trekking, or be it traveling to far-flung places or communities. And the other challenges, I think, is the reason why people are now sort of getting tired of traveling within Bhutan is perhaps must be because of the lack of diverse resources. Like, why Bhutan is so beautiful. I mean, Bhutan is known in world for its mountain. Like, we have amazing trekking trails. Snowman race is like the highlight in the world, running on the rooftop of the world. But why can't we have other adventure resources, other adventurous activities going on? Why can't we have bungee jumping in Bhutan? We have massive bridge, we have the longest bridge, suspension bridge, we have mountains, and we have massive rocks as well. Why can't we have rock climbing activities? Why can't we have bungee jumping? Why can't we have other adventure activities which could really retain Bhutanese from going abroad? Like, for me, I went to Nepal. Why did I go there? I didn't go for pilgrimage, but I went there to just do that bungee jumping thing. I think I spent almost like $300 just to jump from a cliff. I could have done it in Bhutan. So if we have these adventures, activities, the varieties of attractive resources, I think domestic tourism will just like go to next level. And many young people like me, they're very hopeful, and they always wish to have more adventurous activities rather than having to trek to the same trail. Like, in last 3 years, I have trekked to almost all the popular trekking trails in Bhutan. So I'm just questioning myself, where should I trek next? So I don't really want other people to think like, oh, where should we? The moment we think about trekking, traveling, hiking, adventure, things should just pop up in our mind. But right now, we really have to think, like, give second thought, like, okay, where should we go now? We really need to plan. So I think we have a long way to go. However, I'm so happy that domestic tourism is peaking. People are taking interest in traveling. And one of the challenges is also toilet. People always talk about toilet. They complain about toilet, and it is very obvious. Of course, there's always charm in using an open space toilet. But when it comes to some places, I think there's huge requirement of toilets. And at the same time, even the cafeteria or places to eat. Like, for instance, if I drive to east, it's so tiring. The road itself is so bumpy. Yeah, the road as always is bumpy. There's no network. At least if there's network, we just like engage ourselves on phone. So we don't really care about the road. At first place, the road is bumpy. Network, there's no network at all. So then you're bored on top of it, and then you want to eat. There's no place to eat. Yeah, so you literally need to drive to Mongar, like stay hungry for 5 hours. And I think that's why people really do not take interest in traveling towards the eastern part of Bhutan. That's what I feel. So it's my personal opinion about why regionalization of domestic tourism is taking a little slow time. Otherwise, I think domestic tourism is on a good page. However, if things are done more elaborately, I think it will definitely improve.